There is something uniquely powerful about a footballer stepping away from the roar of the stadium to meet a fan face to face. These moments are not polished or planned. From children meeting lifelong heroes to players offering comfort when it is needed most, these 7 encounters remind us why the game feels so personal. 7. Virgil van Dijk hospital visit. In 2020, while the football world slowed under global restrictions and stadiums fell silent, Virgil van Dijk and the wider Liverpool staff quietly reminded everyone what leadership looks like away from the pitch. At Alderhay Children's Hospital, several young Liverpool supporters were undergoing treatment, separated from normal life and from the game they loved. To them, football felt very far away. What they did not know was that their heroes were about to walk through the door. When Van Dijk entered the room, masked and smiling, the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Some of the children froze in disbelief, others laughed nervously, and a few simply broke down in tears. Van Dijk lowered himself to their level, handed out signed Liverpool shirts, posed for photos, and took time to listen, never once appearing rushed. He encouraged them to stay strong and even joked that he would be watching for some of them at Anfield in the future. The video later shared by Liverpool media captured something deeply human. The children glowed with a kind of joy no treatment could provide. Families said the visit lifted spirits during one of the hardest periods of their lives, proving that sometimes hope arrives wearing a football shirt. 6. Harry Kane meets his namesake. After long months without fans in stadiums, Tottenham organized a small meet and greet in 2021 to reconnect players with the people who support them week after week. Among the invited supporters was a young boy also named Harry Kane. For him, sharing a name with his hero already felt like fate doing something special. Meeting him in person, however, felt almost unreal, like something that only happened in videos online. When the real Harry Kane finally walked into the room, the boy's reaction said everything. Words failed him at first, then they came rushing out all at once, repeated through nervous laughter and tears. He kept saying it was the best day of his life, as if saying it enough times would make it feel real. Kane handled the moment with quiet care. He crouched down to the child's level, making sure nothing felt rushed or overwhelming. He signed the boy's shirt, posed patiently for photos, and chatted casually about football, goals, and playing for Spurs, as though they were two fans talking after a match. That normality made the moment even more powerful. What truly made the encounter emotional was Kane's sincerity. There were no forced smiles or quick handshakes. He looked genuinely moved by how much the meeting meant. Later, Kane described it as special, explaining that moments like that remind him why football matters beyond trophies and statistics. The clip shared by Spurs media captures pure, uncomplicated joy. No drama, no tragedy, just a childhood dream quietly becoming real. 5. David Beckham and Olaniyan. Some of the most powerful emotional moments in football happen far from stadium lights and television cameras, only coming to public attention long after they have already changed someone's life. In 2012, David Beckham learned about Olaniyan, an 11-year-old boy in London who was battling a terminal illness. Ollie's greatest wish was not a holiday or a gift, but something deeply personal. He wanted to meet the footballer he admired more than anyone else. Beckham did not arrange a publicity appearance or send a signed shirt in his place. Instead, he traveled quietly to the hospital without fanfare or press and spent hours with Ollie. Beckham signed everything Ollie owned, from shirts to posters, but more importantly, he gave him his full attention. There was no sense of hurry, no feeling that the moment was scheduled. He treated Ollie like a friend, not a fan. Later, Ollie's family released footage from the visit. In it, Ollie smiles constantly, calling the day the best of his life. The joy on his face is unmistakable. As the visit came to an end, Beckham struggled to hold back tears, hugging Ollie and his parents with visible emotion. Moments like this explain why Beckham's legacy reaches far beyond goals, trophies, or global fame. This was kindness without cameras, compassion without performance, and humanity at its purest. 4. Ronaldinho and crying fan. In 2005, during a Barcelona match at the peak of Ronaldinho's career, television cameras picked up a moment that had nothing to do with goals or skill. In the stands, a young boy was crying uncontrollably, overwhelmed by the sheer reality of seeing his hero in person. For him, Ronaldinho was not just a footballer, but a figure who existed almost like a myth. Seeing him live, smiling, and playing only meters away became too much to process. Instead of focusing solely on the game, Ronaldinho noticed. During a brief break in play, he glanced toward the stands, smiled warmly, and gestured for the boy to come closer. The crowd began to murmur as the child made his way down, still wiping tears from his face. When he reached the barrier, Ronaldinho did not hesitate. He wrapped the boy in a long, genuine hug. It was not a quick pat for the cameras, but a real embrace that lasted several seconds. He then handed the boy his shirt and followed it with a reassuring thumbs up as the stadium erupted in applause. The transformation was instant. The boy's tears turned into laughter, disbelief, and pure joy. In later interviews, he explained that the moment stayed with him into adulthood. That was the day football stopped feeling like something trapped behind a screen and became deeply personal. 3. James Maddison and Samuel Grimes. In 2023, Tottenham hosted a charity event built around inclusion and accessibility, designed to give fans of all backgrounds a chance to feel close to the club they loved. Among the guests was Samuel Grimes, a teenager living with cerebral palsy, who had followed James Maddison's career for years. Samuel admired Maddison not only for his creativity on the pitch, but for the way he carried himself, confident yet approachable. For him, the chance to meet Maddison felt both exciting and overwhelming. When Maddison finally met Samuel, there was no awkwardness or hesitation. He greeted him warmly and immediately pulled him into a long, genuine hug. Samuel struggled to find words, smiling so intensely it looked almost painful, his emotions written clearly across his face. Maddison spoke softly, asking how he was doing and taking time to make the moment feel calm and comfortable. He handed Samuel a signed shirt, posed patiently for photos, and stayed fully present as Samuel's family filmed, many of them wiping away tears. What made the moment especially powerful was Maddison's awareness. He did not treat the meeting like a quick appearance. He treated Samuel like a person whose experience mattered. Later, Maddison shared the video himself, writing about how moments like that put football into perspective. For Samuel, the meeting went beyond fandom. It was about feeling seen, valued, and respected in a world that often overlooks people like him. 2. Neymar and Crying Child. During a Champions League match in 2017, with the tension of elite European football hanging heavy in the air, Neymar noticed something unusual in the stands. Amid thousands of faces, a young boy was crying uncontrollably. It was not anger or disappointment. It was pure, overwhelming emotion. In that instant, the importance of the match seemed to fade. Neymar's attention shifted completely from the pitch to the child struggling to hold himself together. Without hesitation, Neymar ran toward the barrier separating the players from the crowd. Stewards reacted late as he lifted the boy over the advertising boards and pulled him into a tight embrace. The child clung to Neymar, burying his face into the Brazilian shirt, sobbing as if years of emotion had finally found an outlet. Neymar held him firmly, offering comfort rather than spectacle. Before returning to the game, he handed the boy his match-worn jersey and gently kissed him on the head, a small gesture that carried enormous meaning. Fan film footage of the moment spread rapidly online, racking up millions of views within days. The clip resonated because it felt unscripted and deeply human. In later interviews, the child explained how the moment changed the way he saw football. It made him feel chosen, noticed, and important in a stadium filled with thousands. Neymar stopped being just a superstar on a screen and became someone real, someone kind. For the boy, it was not just a hug. It was a memory that stayed with him, proof that even on the biggest stage, compassion can matter more than the game itself. 1. Liverpool's Dar meets his heroes at Melwood. In 2018, a video of 7-year-old Dar Oldham went viral, capturing the imagination of football fans everywhere. In it, he flawlessly recited Liverpool's entire trophy history from memory, naming years, competitions, and iconic moments with astonishing accuracy for a child his age. Fans were stunned by his knowledge, but what followed would stun Dar even more. Liverpool Football Club, impressed and touched by his passion, decided to invite him to their training ground for a personal visit. The moment Dar arrived, he was greeted by none other than Jurgen Klopp. The manager smiled broadly, laughing in disbelief at the depth of Dar's memory and the way he could recount the club's achievements with such clarity. Moments later, Jordan Henderson, Mohamed Salah, and the rest of the squad joined in. Overwhelmed by the sheer reality of standing in front of his heroes, Dar broke down in tears. Klopp famously joked that Dar knew more about Liverpool's history than he did himself. The players took the time to hug him, sign his shirt, and patiently listen as Dar proudly repeated his facts. His joy was palpable, spilling over in laughter and tears. The official Liverpool video shows grown men smiling like children themselves, sharing in Dar's excitement and making it a moment that celebrates both fandom and humanity. Which of these moments warmed your heart? Tell us in the comments section, we'd love to know. Thanks for watching to the end. Until next time, bye for now.